Oh, shit hurts my brain. And just had a conversation with a non-black woman who still finds herself single and, has a quote-unquote thing for black men. And I called her out on her bullshit because I've recognized this for a while. And this is one of those areas where I look at black women and I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? So what am I talking about? Well, basically, as I've said numerous times, black men are probably, let me be specific, African American men are probably the most liberal men on the planet. On the planet. Or at least, in a, first world modern society. Right? Don't give me some obscure tribe in the Philippines or something and be like, they have a matrilineal matriarchal society. Don't give me that bullshit. Okay? Because modern women in Western society, they want certain amenities. They want a certain lifestyle, right? And it's difficult to get a combination of that lifestyle and a sort of liberal mindset that African American men tend to have. This goes back to my video I talked about a long time ago about how a lot of black women are raising their sons for other races of women, because a lot of black mothers teach their sons, you need to know how to do this because ain't nobody gonna be cleaning up after you. Go have a conversation with the Indian girls and their frustrations with their men about how their men expect them to pick up and clean up after them. Oh, go and have that conversation. And they will tell you that those men expect them to iron their clothes, clean their clothes, wash their stinky drawers, all this stuff. I don't expect that from black women. I really don't. I don't. Like, I expect her to be like on some tidy shit to where, she's cleaning up herself. But I don't expect that from black women. That's not how I was raised. I was raised, ain't no woman gonna be picking up after you. That's literally what was stated. You need to know how to do this. No woman wants a man that doesn't know how to do this. That's what I was told. That's what I was taught. When you go out there and you date other races of women, what you will find is you will find that, and I'm not saying that I never had any black woman ever do any of that stuff for me, because you will find that when it comes to black women, especially those of the foreign persuasion, those of the Caribbean, those African, they get into the whole domestic thing. They're like, if the house isn't clean, they feel some type of way. Like they don't feel like a woman. They don't feel whole. If the children aren't taken care of, they don't feel like a woman. They don't feel whole. Like, that's just how they operate. That's their cultural orientation. I've also had African American women who have done that as well. But by and large, the rhetoric is, I don't cook, I don't clean, Cardi B style song type shit, right? There's like this bucking, of doing that. But at the end of the day, I'm saying, my point is, I don't expect it. And I talked about how when you go out here as a black man with the type of cultural orientation that I have, which is, I don't expect women to do any of that stuff. The idea of, helping out with the dishes and cleaning and stuff like that. When you go out here and you date some of these foreign women, some of these women with different cultures, and you're doing that type of stuff, man, they think they struck gold, because they're so used to their men not helping, not doing anything at all, right? I mean, it doesn't mean that I'm going to, go put on an apron and start like sweeping all over the place and dusting everything, but I'm saying they're not used to that, and so therefore they appreciate it. By the same token, a lot of those other women, they, bend over backwards when it comes to cooking and all this stuff, especially the cooking. The cooking usually is what gets brothers like sucked in, is the cooking. They're like, damn, like, you made this for me? Like again, black men are basically taught even by their mothers, because I didn't hear it coming from black men. I heard it coming from the women in my family that ain't nobody going to do X, Y, and Z for you, so don't expect it. So then, when you get these, young black men and they go out there and they interracially date, it's very easy for these other races of women to bedazzle them, which I think is a very low bar. But when you come from a culture where this is not done at all, and then you're interacting with a culture where this is done, you're going to get that sort of mutual exchange, sort of appreciation. At the end of the day, women, a lot of women will do that type of sort of stuff. They want to be appreciated. But you also have that segment of women that, have the wrong orientation, and they think that, expecting a woman to do anything is oppressive and is part of the evil patriarchy. And typically those women are going to lose across the board. They're just going to lose across the board. When you're doing something that is not specific to your gender role, it's always going to be interpreted as helping out. That's what it's going to be interpreted as. You know what I mean? Like if a man is in the garage, I don't know, changing his oil, which nobody does anymore, right? You take your shit to Jiffy Lube and call it a day. But I'm saying, if he was doing something and the woman was sitting there helping in whatever manner in which she can help, you know what I mean? The man will be like, damn, that was pretty cool. Because she's out of her element. And women think the same thing, the ones that are traditionally oriented, that a black man or any man for that matter, that helps. Oh, he helped me do this. He helped me do that, like domestic shit. Oh, he changed the diaper or whatever. They'll think, oh, he's out of his element. That was really sweet of him. Women say it all the time. Don't give me any bullshit about that. Anyway, so I was talking to this woman, non-black woman, and what I picked up on is, and this is where the problem comes in with black men interracially dating. This is the problem with this shit. Because we have a reputation of being liberal, and which I think is a direct result of us not having a patriarchal structure. So we tend to be very liberal. And the word has kind of gotten out that, oh, black men are very liberal. They're not going to bring the patriarchy. And so you will have some of these non-black women that will come through. And again, I don't think these relationships work. So, I mean, it's kind of like what I'm saying is kind of irrelevant. But I don't think these relationships work in the long run. I think in very short order, a black man who is patriarchal recognizes a non-patriarchal, non-black woman who is in the extreme minority of her community, by the way. But a lot of them, first off, here's the danger zone. A non-black woman that dates a black man, you're already a rebel. You're already outside the box and shit like that. You're already going against the grain because you have an intact patriarchal community. It's not like, what black women will say, oh, we're running away from black men because of, rape and pillage, and all that other shit. I'm like, you got an intact community, chick. You're Asian or you're white or whatever. The only women that can really say that that whole rape and pillage argument is going to carry some serious weight with me is Muslim women, trying to get away from, Islam and the sexism in Islam and all that extreme bullshit, that they're on. I've seen that, right? Or Indian women, that's another group, where the men are, they're just ultra possessive and shit like that, to crazy levels. And it's just you're suffocating the bitch, right? So, cultures like that, so, Middle Eastern to Far Eastern cultures, I'll see women trying to get away from that. Okay. Some Hispanic communities occasionally, but they tend not to. But usually it'll be Muslim or it'll be some sort of Asian, that has that'll be trying to run away from, abuses of power, abuses of patriarchal power. But the thing is when it comes to these other women, right? They if you try to assert yourself as a patriarchal black man, you know what I mean? They look at you oh, wait, but you're a black man. I thought you weren't on this shit. I was trying to run away from this, from my own community, and have a loving relationship of more equality, right? And I'm saying, yeah, generally black men operate with a degree of more, equality, and giving women much more autonomy. We don't even think about it than other races of men. But there's certain women that are, I call them like undercover feminist or low-key feminist. See, black feminism is like, just all in your face, like, like, woo-ha, just all in your face and shit. They gotta let you know, they gotta walk in the room and spray man repellent all over the place before, they, deal with you, right? Like Jamila Lemieux. You know what I mean? What she say? I'll have you know that I am an unapologetic, staunch feminist. Just gotta state it from go, right? Other races of women, except for like the crazy, the journalist, or not even journalist, like the social justice warrior, white feminist with multicolored hair, like those bitches are on some different shit. They're the ones that'll hit you with the Jamila Lemieux, I'm a staunch feminist, because like it's usually a part of their career or a part of their journalism or their writing, and so like they do public speaking. Like, I'm not talking about those women. I'm talking about your everyday run-of-the-mill, undercover feminists coming from these other groups. And I hate to say it, but a lot of them will flock to black men, African American black men, because they can get their jollies off, they can fuck us, and we're not tripping, right? They're not our women, so how much can we really claim them? So like they're just kind of doing whatever they want to do, having fun with the brothers, right? That's what they do. But if you operate as a real man, if you, like me, have a chip on your shoulder about black men's reputation, and you're like, nah, we taking on these responsibilities full on, right? If you do that, then, they got a problem with that shit. They're looking at you like, wait, I ran away from my group, to get away from this shit. And you mean to tell me you're on this shit? And see, what'll piss you off is the attitude like, you're a black man, you're not supposed to be on patriarchy. See, this is where our negative reputation precedes us. You see? And you'll see this, like, and it's it's not even a two-way street. You'll see this on both sides, like, even when you're dealing with sisters, right? Like, if you're dealing with black women, and let's say you got an Instagram and it's got some conservative stuff up there. You know what I mean? Not even really conservative, but like, how do I want to put it? Just shit that is somehow atypical for black men. You know what I mean? Like, if you got some I support the Second Amendment shit on your Instagram, you know what I'm saying? There's a lot of black women are looking like, wait a minute, this isn't very matriarchal of you. It's like, bitch, I don't operate on matriarchy. They look at you like, wait a minute. You start talking about some shit about leadership, not just responsibility. Not just, if you put some shit up there like real black men take care of their kids, you know what I mean? See, you're preaching to responsibility. Oh, they're all for black men taking on responsibility. But when you start talking about that leadership bullshit, then they're like, oh, hell no, nigga. Oh, you sound like a white man. That's you sound like a Trump supporter. You know what I mean? They start going that route because, again, a lot of black women are, liberal, left-leaning Biden, supporters. So when you start talking about actually, taking the reins, they look at you with a side eye. They're like, I don't know where to place you, nigga. I don't know what type of shit you on. They start thinking that you're some type of conservative. Okay, and there's a lot of liberal non-black women out here as well that look at it from the same purview. They look at it from the same angle. They're saying to themselves, wait a minute, you're a black man. You're supposed to be pro-Black Lives Matter and pro-LGBT. Thank you, black women, for bringing that into the fucking room. We're supposed to be pro all this goofy shit. We're supposed to be pro-feminist as a black man, pro-LGBT, pro-Biden, anti-Second Amendment, all this stuff. So liberal white women, they look at a black man and they say, yes, I can be a liberal white woman and I'm with a black man and we can go to Black Lives Matter marches together. We can go to, equality marches together. And, again, as a black man trying to, quote unquote, reclaim his manhood and reclaim his dignity and reclaim his community, you're going to run into problems with a chick like that. Because as soon as you start laying some foundation down, as soon as you start laying some guidelines and some parameters down, they're going to accuse you of being whitewashed. They're going to accuse you of, not acting like a true black man, which should be offensive. It's like, what the fuck does that mean? A true black man? What does that mean? You know what I mean? They start labeling you like their own community. Right? I want you to think about that. Right? They're labeling you their own community, but their own community is intact, but they're running away from it because, patriarchy. Right? Which usually translates to not, I want equality in some sort of reasonable sense. No, it usually translates to, I want to do whatever the fuck I want to do and not be judged for it. Right? I want to do whatever the fuck I want to do and not be held accountable to some archaic gender role. But they have no problem holding men to their archaic gender roles, again, that revolve around responsibility, but not leadership. You see? And so I'm just putting this video out here as a warning to some of you brothers to be able to identify this with non-black women and don't just assume, she ain't got no fucked up attitude like black women got, and so I'm gonna go over here and I'm gonna be with Stacy and everything's gonna be gravy. And Stacy might be one of these bleeding heart liberals, and you running around, she's looking at you. You gotta think about the offense to this shit. She's looking at you like, well, I don't like white patriarchy, or I don't like Asian patriarchy, or I don't like Muslim patriarchy. Who can I get with that doesn't operate like that? Ah, yes, I know. Black men, black American men. Let me go and link up with them, and they won't be on this bullshit. And all he's going to do is basically be a phallus to me and fuck me good and fuck me to sleep. You know what I mean? We'll hang out and we'll get drunk and we'll go to the bars and he'll dance and twerk and all that shit and I'll be happy. And yeah, that's cool when you're just running around just fucking with these women. Whether you're just in single bachelor mode as a young adult, if you're in college and shit like that, and you're just fucking these women, it doesn't matter. You're happy because you're getting the pussy, you know what I mean? And, she's not stressing you and she's not bothering you because she wants to do her own thing. You're like, cool, great, she's doing her own thing. Now I can go over here and tackle this other bitch, right? So she's away from you enough so that you could juggle multiple bitches. This is why a lot of quote unquote player black men, they like this sort of setup, right? Because they're getting the pussy without any of the obligations, without any of the responsibility, any of the duties, right? But see, once you get on some adult grown man shit and you're actually trying to lay down foundations and you're actually trying to get a chick to cooperate with you, that's when this bullshit bubbles to the surface. When you're trying to get her to get with your program, that's when it's going to be a problem. And again, talking to this woman, and I was like, I knew it. She's on, no man can contain me. No man can contain me. I do what I want. But you love brothers. You like black men. You only dealing with black men. Get the fuck out of here, you bullshitting ass bitch. You know what I'm saying? That's what I was fucking thinking. You know what I mean? And I, in a more subtle way, told her, I was like, that's real foul of you because, you deal with brothers because they don't have a structure. You know what I mean? So right now she's just on my shit list because I know why she's into brothers. Like, I look at this the same way as when you got some fat 300-pound white woman talking about, I only date black men. I only date black men because you got enough crusty, dusty niggas out here that'll date that fat bitch. You know, and so, you know, she looks at black men and just assumes off the strength of melanin that, oh, he's going to want me even though I have no value within my own group. Even though white men don't want me, or if it's an Asian woman, Asian men don't want me or whatever. You know, oh, I'll get me a black man. And then we end up becoming, you know, the garbage men of all these fucking other groups. Be careful, my brothers. We do not have the greatest reputation out here. And you need to understand that shit. We got a shitty reputation. And that shitty reputation, you know what it ultimately equates to? Disrespect. Or at the very least, a utter lack of respect. And you need to be mindful of that. I see a lot of brothers out here that, you know, they're happy because they with some non-black woman because they don't have to deal with that classic black woman attitude. But then they go out here and they get with other races of women and don't realize how much they've just sold their manhood at a discount. Because Becky and Rebecca and Stacy and Kelly, you know, and Ming Su are not getting with you because, yo, I'm going to go get with black men because they're just the baddest of patriarchs, right? They're just the baddest mofos when it comes to patriarchy. And I respect that. No, they're getting with you because they're anti-patriarchy. They're anti their own, the obligations and the gender role that they have to fulfill as women to their own communities. And they're thinking, oh, let me go over here to black men, you know, because, you know, the patriarchy is not there. And on top of that, I can leverage my light-skinnedness. I can leverage this silky hair that blows in the wind due to, you know, black men's self-hatred. Or I can capitalize on diversityism because they want to try every flavor underneath the sun because they're just so bored with black women and think once they've had one, they've had them all, right? So you got to be careful of that shit. That's why in some ways a lot of these conversations aren't necessarily the greatest because inadvertently a lot of shit gets put out there that you don't really want to be put out there. Okay? You know, again, it's very bad when another group knows that you fail with your own women or you fail with your own men. Because they will take advantage of that and capitalize on, and you won't know. If you won't be the wiser, if you're not quote unquote woke or aware or conscious about the shit, you're not. What I'm saying to you, you're not even going. It's not even going to cross your mind. But see, I listen to people when they talk, and I'm like, I know exactly why the fuck you like black men, bitch. You know. See, y'all can easily identify when some 300-pound white woman's like, I only date black men. You can pick that up because she has no value to you. But a lot of you all, when you get some non-black woman and she's attractive and she's pretty and shit like that, y'all be acting like, oh, I won something. And truth be told, again, like, you're not married to the chick. You're just fucking the broad. And maybe that's all you want to do. Fine, cool. But I'm telling you, once you get beyond that, once you try to take it a step further, that's when you may run into some problems. You know, we Captain Solo and myself, we've brought this up for over a decade. Okay? Support can be faked. Cooperation cannot. Getting with your program cannot be faked. And unfortunately, a lot of brothers aren't in that position to do that, so they're not going to see it because they haven't demonstrated any amount of leadership. There's nothing for the woman to submit to or get with, right? There's no program for her to, acclimate herself to. So you're not going to see, these sort of pushback that a lot of times, these sort of undercover, liberal social justice warrior, feminist women will have, maybe not social justice warrior, but these undercover feminists, you're not going to see that shit until, you actually try to make a move. If you're not making moves, what I'm saying is going to float over your head. You're not going to see it. The minute you try to make some major moves, hey chick, I'm moving to California, we're going to be together, yeah, let's let's move to Cali, or just some shit like that. Maybe, you're making more money than her, hopefully, and you're like, all right, we're going to be together. All right, I got to move over here because, there's opportunity over here. Is she going to go? You see? Or you start talking about how you want to raise your kids and shit like that. What's a no-go for me? A chick that sits there. Look, I don't have any problem with. I don't think you can help if your child comes out gay. I think people are born gay, but it's not some shit that I'm going to encourage. I'm not going to be reading the gay BCs to my child. And if I hear a woman, a white woman, or a black woman, or Asian woman, or Hispanic woman say some shit like that, I'm the fuck out. I'm like, oh, hell no. Hell no. Because, again, the only reason women co-sign this shit is not because they want a better and brighter world. They try to get people to co-sign these sort of non-defined, non-structural situations. That way, when it comes to their own female gender roles, they can say that is also archaic and that needs to be absolved or dismantled, and that they should be able to do whatever they want to do, because that's their goal. That's their goal. That's why the freaking the for Harriet camp and the hypergamous camp clash. Okay, because at the end of the day, like, you're not going to get the benefits of structure without supporting and adhering to that structure. Does the structure have drawbacks? Absolutely. It has drawbacks for men. You know what I mean? The fucking ship is sinking. I got to sit there and be like, women and children first. Like, shit, I want to live too, But, that's the way it is when it comes to patriarchy. She submitted. She got with the program. You have to ensure her survival first. She is the priority. Again, if you're not coming to the rescue, why should she feel safe around your ass? The sliding door breaks downstairs and whatnot, and he looks at the woman and says, "Your turn, equality." Man, that viscosity will dry up so fast it's not even funny. That's the reality of the world. As a man, what is it? What do they say about women? Women are I forget what the term is, but men are beasts of burden. You know what I mean? That's the fact. You're gonna have to do all the heavy lifting. You're gonna have to do all the protecting, right? You're gonna have to do all the securing. That's your role here. And if you got a problem with that, that's not something I'm gonna co-sign. I'm not gonna co-sign you not operating that and then feeling that you deserve whatever woman that you feel No. You're not getting my blessing on that. You see, I'm not giving you a blessing. No blessings here. If that's how you want to operate, good luck. That's all I can tell you. It's not something I co-sign. As a matter of fact, I'm irritated by it, because the women will use you as ammunition for some argument later, and it'll go either way. When you're being a beta and you're in a relationship with her, they'll be like, he's a strong man. He's a great, wonderful man that's not intimidated by a woman's success. They'll come with that shit. But the minute you fail, it's going to be all type of, he's a dusty, and she's dating down, and this is what black men are about, and this is what they're on. So, I can't stand you either way. Because either way, either you're going to be used as the example of, normalizing beta males, or you're going to be used as the example of, this is why, we don't believe in black male patriarchy. Because you're failing. And in both situations, in my opinion, you're failing. But I'm saying as long as she's getting what she wants out of the situation, yeah, she'll big you up whenever she comes across a true patriarch. She'll sit there and say, he's a real man. Unlike you, he's not weak and intimidated. They'll pull that Derek Jackson bullshit. Yes, see, and they'll be sending videos around saying, and this is an example of a real, same bullshit that Sierra tried to do with Russell Wilson, trying to normalize childless, super wealthy men getting with single mothers, and black women just sat there and co-signed. And I'm like, what are you childless bitches doing? She just said that she's a better option than all of you. What the hell did you wait and not get pregnant for? Why are you co-signing this? I mean, goddamn, is the sisterhood that goddamn strong? Dumb. That's dumb. Again, same with that stupid ass transgender bullshit. Y'all co-sign that into oblivion until next thing you know, the transgender women were running up talking about, bitch, I steal your man. And now you got the childless women saying, I don't see what the difference between me and her, even though she don't have any kids. So what? I started a family. I just started a little bit early. You want to have a family too, right? You see? Because y'all sat around and co-signed that bitch. Don't talk about her. Don't put her down. She's just as valuable as any other woman. I'm like, all right, well, let's take her and cut her to the front of the I want to get with you line. Wait a minute. Wait, I don't have any kids. Oh, now you not having any kids is supposed to mean something. Oh, please do tell. Well, I'm not, just because I don't have any kids don't mean I'm not better than, that doesn't mean I'm better than her, but I still think that you should choose me over her. Oh, can you detail that for me? Why should I choose you over her? Break that down for me. Well, I'm just saying, she's busy all the time. I got free time, and I can go. Oh, you mean all the same stuff that we've been saying, bitch? The fuck? It's fucking retarded. But anyway, I'm done. That's my video. Time to work out. SWP out.